Good morning, children. Hope you all are doing great. So, children, today I am going to explain you about the higher level of organization from higher to organism. So, in my last video, I have explained you that cell is the basic unit with when it is combined together, it form tissue, and the tissue make up the organ, then organ system, arrange it systematically, different organs arrange systematically and form organ system, and organ system form organism in case of animals, and in case of plant also same, the basic unit is cell. Now, what do you mean by higher level? So I told you higher level forms population, community, ecosystem, and then biosphere. So as we all know, children, then in our ecosystem, all the biotic, which is living components, or abiotic, which is non-living component like air, land, water, combine together. Okay, we both are interdependent on each other, and we interact and forms our biosphere. So first line it is written, no organism can survive in isolation. Okay, we need each other, we need help of each other for survival. So this interaction or interdependence of each other in the form of food web, in the form of food chain that I have explained you in lower classes, helps in the proper maintaining the coordination of organism. So all the organism together make up a population level, then community level, and then ecosystem, which comprises of biotic and abiotic component. Definition is given in this yellow box. The members of the biotic component community like plants, animals, humans, all the insects, and the abiotic components air, land, water together form a ecosystem. And disturbance of ecosystem, it disturbs the food chain and food web also. So next is biosphere level. So the last and the final one is biosphere level. What is the biosphere? Biosphere is a part of universe that supports life. So we know in the ecosystem, all the biotic and abiotic components supports each other and forms a life, so that without the abiotic components we cannot survive. Biotic living one cannot survive. So we need each other, cooperation, interdependence. We are interdependent on each other. So biosphere together form our life support system, which is made by ecosystem. Now it comprises all the ecosystem. So we have different ecosystem in the on the earth, like on land we know we have the land animals. In the class 6 I explained you the habitat. We have the different habitats, we have the different adaptations based on that. So we can live, some can live in the water, some animals and plants, some needs air. So based on the land, air and water, we have the different biosphere. First one is hydrosphere. Always remember that hydro means water. Okay, so hydro means water, right? So this hydrosphere includes all the water body, ponds, lakes, oceans, seas, all. And we all know that the organism living in water are called aquatic organism or marine organism. So organism like plants also, animals also, a wide variety of plants and animals live in a marine habitat. So that forms hydrosphere. Hydro means water, correct? Now lithosphere. Remember that lithos means lithosphere related to the land. So it represents the solid surface of the earth. Solid surface is land. So we are also a land animal. So all the land animal, it includes, this lithosphere includes upper surface which supports the plants, deeper layers where animals lives in burrows, like earthworms are there, rats are there, snakes are there. It is formed of soils and rocks. So remember, lithosphere is related to the land, which is related to rock and soils. Next is atmosphere. We all know the atmospheric layer, it is a mixture of gases. So a gas cover is there that envelope or that hides the or that cover the this hydrosphere and lithosphere. So both hydrosphere and lithosphere is covered by or protected by atmosphere. So organism and their spores can go or move up to the 7 to 8 kilometer above the sea level, and birds and insects are aerial animals. So we know that birds can easily birds spend most of the time in the sky only, flying in the sky only, like insects also, like butterflies and all, bees and all. So they comes under aerial animals. So remember the biosphere level categorized into three parts: hydrosphere, which is related to water; lithosphere, which is related to land; and atmosphere, which is related to the air. Now what is biome? So you know, in geography also your teacher has explained you that in our geographical area in different states, also different countries, we have the different plateaus, plains. These areas, they have the different rainforest, temperate forest. These are having different geographical area and geographical habitat also. So a biome is the collection of all the ecosystem in an geographical area which has the same climatic condition. So all the tropical rainforest, they are having the same habitat, okay, and they have the same temperature also. So the same thing. So all these desert, ocean, forest, all these are the example of biomes. Biomes means where the same thing, the living organism interact with the non-living and survive there. So you can easily understand. Now next one is plant tissue. So now I am going to start the plant tissue. Plant tissue, we all know that tissue is a group of cells, similar cells which have the same structure and same function. They form together and they combine together and they make up a tissue. So this is the definition. Underline this definition into your book, which is given, this part is given on page number 11. So tissue is a group of cells that have similar structure and functions. Now children, plant tissue is mainly divided into two parts, as you can see in this flow chart. And in a homework, draw this flow chart in your copy on blank page. Okay. So for science, we generally use interleaf copy, you know, from the class 5. So on the blank page, draw this flow chart of plant tissue. Plant tissue is further divided into two parts: meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. So you know, plants have different body parts like leaves, roots, stem, branches. So they can divide, plants can divide under the ground also, and root part also can divide easily, and branches, shoot part also divide it easily. So meristematic tissue, what is meristematic tissue? Meristematic tissue is dividing young cells, okay, and permanent tissue, they do not divide, okay, they provide support, protection and conducting tissue. So meristematic tissue, remember this is, they are the dividing young cell, they are the dividing cells. So meristematic tissue are the three types: apical meristem, intercally meristem and lateral meristem. So in a plant body children, these three regions are there, meristem regions are present. From this region only plant are able to divide. Remember, in the plant body these three regions are there. From that region only they are easy to divide. Okay, so I will show you one picture, good picture, so that you can understand. So first underline this part, page given on the page number: meristems, also called as meristematic tissues. They are called actively dividing young cells. So underline, these are formed of, they are made up of actively dividing young cells, and from that region only, meristematic regions only, plant parts, roots, stem, leaves, branches, they divide. They keep adding new cells throughout the life of a plant. So in our body also cells divide, and it will so that we can get growth, increase in height, okay, mental development, all growth and development. For the growth and development, it is very important children to to cell to divide, okay, to be dividing cells. So they are responsible for plant growth. So what is the function of meristematic tissue? They give growth to the plant. So remember this. Now there are few characteristics. What are the main features of the meristem? First one is, there you can see the picture, figure 1.5 diagram is given. So these meristematic cells are oval and small. They are oval in shape, and they have small, they have the thick walls, and they have the no intercellular space. They are merged with each other. You can see these boxes, okay. There is no spaces there, no white part is there, fully green part is there, light green and dark green. So there are no intercellular spaces. Remember, they are oval, small, they have the thin walls, and they do not have spaces. Intercellular means between the cells they do not have spaces. So here they are showing 12. They are you can see they are arranged in the number of 4s. So here are 12 cells, and they do not have, they are merged with each other, added with each other, and they do not have the space between them. Next is their nucleus. You can see it is label diagram, it is properly labeled. You all know from the class 6 what is cell wall, what plant cell contain the cell wall only, no animal cell. Cytoplasm is present and nucleus is present. So this dark green part present in the center, that is nucleus. So in all the meristematic cell, nucleus are present in the center, and they are large in size. Vacuoles are either absent or very small. You know, it is a plant tissue, and we know that plants have very large vacuole from the class 6, but in this meristematic tissues, their vacuoles are either absent or they are very small. Now here you can see full diagram of the one plant. You can see the root system and you can see the shoot system. So I told you there are 3 type of meristematic tissue: apical meristem, intercalary, inter means between, and lateral. So you can see the apical meristem are present here, root tip. You can see root tip. So from the root tip only, root tip regions, it is labeled by white circles. You can see in all the root tips. Here you can see. So children, from this root tip only they divide. So roots can easily divide. They branched out into taproot, into fibrous root. Now from this shoot part, so this other 2, intercalary and lateral, these are present in the shoot region of the plant. So lateral is present in the stem part. So you can see lateral present in the stem part, and intercalary present in between the nodes and internodes, where leaves or branches can arise. Okay, so branches are coming out at that point. Intercalaries are present, and the stem part, lateral, are present. So this is a very good diagram. I am showing you here, children. It is not given in your book, so you can easily understand where is the apical region on the roots, where is the intercalary on the nodes and internodes part, where these leaves are attached to the stem. You can see here, and it is branching out further, and lateral, it is present on the stem part. So I hope you understand. Okay, so I have explained you the characteristics. Remember the characteristics. One more thing I want to say, children, that you should know where meristem, what is the use of what are meristematic cells, where it is located, where is the location, and what is the functions. 3 things you should know about this chapter. Okay, function of this tissue, location of that tissue, and the definition of that tissue. So meristematic, as I said, they are found on the growing points in the plant. Growing points means root, from the root part only, further root, different types of roots, fibrous roots, tap roots divide. From the stem grows into a big plant, then further divide, and intercalary region only, new leaves arises. So you should know where it is present at a growing point. Underline this line: meristem are found at growing points in plants. It also forms apical meristems. So apical meristem, I told you, in the root, in the shoot and branches. It it form apical meristem, and the growth of the thickness of the plant is depend on the lateral meristem. So lateral meristem is present on the stem. You know, some plants are having a thick stem, some are having a thin stem. So the thickness of the plant depend purely on lateral meristem. Correct? Now, what are the functions? As we all know, it gives growth to the plant, and girth. Girth means width to the plant. Width, you know, thickness to the plant. All new organs like bud, flowers, new leaves, branches, all come or all arise by a new cells by the division of meristematic cells. So remember these two functions. Activity, you can see, you know, children, to study the activity of apical meristem. So your mother is just making or drying the seeds, okay, gram seeds, that we call chana, sprout seed, ankurit anaj, green moong dal. So in that, you know, you can see when she drain, she soak that pulses or that seed overnight, then she drain the water, and after few hours, after draining the water, what we will see, what we will observe after few hours, that will start radical part, the root part, and that radical part and stimule, that radical part which is the tip of the apical meristem comes out from that seed sprouts. Okay, so we can see the radical part, and so you can do this activity at home also. Okay, do the germination of seed. It is also called germination of seed. I told you how to do in the class 6, so please do it again, or if you can, with the help of your mother, you can do. Now children, permanent tissue. Permanent tissue is divided into 3 parts. Okay, underline this first line, that permanent tissues are formed of mature differentiated cell. So you should know that meristematic cells, when it divide up to a certain extent, it will convert it into permanent tissue. So underline this line, permanent tissues are formed when they become mature. When meristematic tissue become mature or divided, okay, it lost the capacity of dividing cells. Okay, cells lost the capacity of dividing, and then it will turn automatically, naturally, into permanent tissue. Now the cells are specialized to carry out specific functions. So what they do? So few features are given, characteristics are given. First one is permanent tissue is derived from the division of meristematic tissue. That I said, that meristematic tissue, when meristematic tissue lost its capacity, every cells are having its own capacity of dividing. So when it lost its capacity, it turned into permanent tissue. So remember this point. The cells do not divide because they become differentiated. It will become differentiated. They have already divided. They may be alive or dead. So permanent tissue, remember the first one feature also, that meristematic tissue are the living tissue, whereas permanent tissues can be living, can be dead also. The cells have different shapes. They have the different shapes, different structures, and they perform the different functions. They have the thick cell wall and large vacuole. Meristematic tissues, they do not have the large vacuoles. They have the thin cell wall, but here they have the thick cell wall and large vacuole. So this is the difference. Nucleus is displaced to one side. Meristematic tissue case, nucleus is present in the center part, whereas here at the one part, any part, left side, right side, any part. So in our homework, make at this table also, table 1.1. So you have 2-3 days, you can easily complete these 2-3 homeworks. Table 1.1, this also note down. It is given very easily. Now where it is present, I told you location. So it is present in the plant body. Okay, from bulk of the plant body, they are present in all parts except the meristematic part. Meristematic part means the tip of the root, the tip of the stem, where apical, lateral and intercalary meristem are present. Except all the 3, these permanent tissues are present all over the plant body. Now they are of two types, simple permanent and you can see here simple permanent and complex permanent. So simple permanent, based on these tissues are formed on only one type of cells and they are further divided into two. First one is protective cells and the next one is supporting cells. Protective means, you know, plants are having outer covering. Plant body is also having outer covering, like we have the skin on our body. So these outer covering protect the plant from the outer, from any environment, from bacteria, from any harsh wind, from water currents. So these are the protective. So protective tissue are formed of thick cell wall and protect plant's part. They are of two types, epidermis, which is the outer covering of the plant body, and cork, which is the woody plants have the cork. So underline this line, epidermis forms a covering all over the part, like we have the skin, no? So epidermis is also skin of the plant. So skin of the plant is called epidermis. Remember this, children. So underline, epidermis forms a cover all over the part of plant body. It forms a single layer of cells and protects the underlying tissue. So our skin also protects our underlying tissues. We have the skeleton also. Like this, epidermis protect the underlying tissues. Epidermis of leaves secrete a waxy waterproof layer which is called cuticle. Okay, so this diagram is not given in your book, but here you can see one diagram is given on page number 13, figure 1.6. In that you can see they are showing you upper epidermis and lower epidermis. So these are the skin of the cell. Now, so this epidermis, they secrete the waxy layer or waterproof, like, you know, our mouth, our salivary glands, in our mouth salivary glands secrete saliva, our skin secretes the sweat. So like this epidermis secrete the cuticle, okay, which is a waxy and waterproof layer. Now next is cork. Cork cells are dead and they are found only in old woody dicot stem. Next one is supporting cells. So supporting cells, children, you know that supporting cells are of they support the plant. They are also made up of only one type of cells. They provide support. Underline this line, they provide support and strength to the plant. They are of three types, parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. So parenchyma is found in the soft part of the plant. The parenchyma are oval in shape, polygonal in shape. They have the thin cell wall, they have the large vacuole, and they are separated by intercellular spaces. They have the spaces, and they some parenchyma, they contain the chlorophyll pigment, and in that case, if they have the chlorophyll pigment, their name changed to chlorenchyma. So what is chlorenchyma? Chlorenchyma is the parenchymal tissue which contain chlorophyll pigment. Next is collenchyma tissue. Collenchyma is formed on parenchymatous cells only, this parenchyma only, when it completely turned, and they are the elongated cells. So all these diagram is given in figure 1.7, page number 13. You can see these cells have a thick and long, thick at the corners. They do not have the intercellular space, and they are found in the leaves, stem and petioles of the herbaceous green dicot plants. Now what is the function? I told you their structure is important, their function is important, where it is located there it is important. So collenchyma cells, they provide mechanical support. Mechanical support means so that plant can stand upright on the soil. It withstand the water current, wind currents. Sclerenchyma, third one is sclerenchyma. The structure is different. It is the long, dead and fiber-like cells with thick cell wall, and it is present around the vascular bundle. We have the xylem and phloem. So I will explain you now what is xylem, what is the vascular bundle. So it is present in the stems, veins of the leaves and petioles. Now, sclerenchyma, it provides mechanical strength. What is the it also provides mechanical strength and rigidity, hardness to the plant body, so that plants will not fall down on the ground. They will stand straight against the wind currents, wind flow and all. So here you can see the figure is given. You can see labeled is this diagram is labeled. So here you can see the difference between the some are oval shapes, some are polygonal shapes. So here you can see some are having the thick cell wall, some have the intercellular space, they do not have the intercellular space. So you can see. Now what in this table 1.2, it is given parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. So if you have time, you can do this also homework. So within 1 week you can complete this notebook work. 1 week is enough, children. Now complex permanent tissue. Complex means they are complex. You know, in our body also, through the complex permanent tissue only plant gets their food and water, minerals. So we have the blood vessels. Human body have the blood vessels. We have the blood fluid. Through the blood fluid only we are getting all the nutrients, essential nutrients like carbohydrate, protein, fats, vitamins, minerals, water, all other important chemicals flows into throughout our body with the help of blood. Same as it is also called as conducting tissue. So xylem and phloem, these two parts are present in the plant body, xylem and phloem. Remember the word xylem and phloem. So they are also called as conducting tissue. Conducting, they conduct the food, water and minerals to the plant body. Okay, so that's why they are saying conducting tissue. So conducting tissue, these are also called as conducting tissue or vascular tissue or vascular bundle. Okay, here I said that I will tell you what is vascular bundle. So vascular bundle is xylem and phloem. So conducting tissue, we can say xylem and phloem, a conducting tissue, vascular tissue or vascular bundle. Okay, so why? Because they are present in the vascular bundle. Vascular bundle means they are just present at the place where they have the tube like structures. Through that only they can transport the water and food. So these are the complex permanent tissue. Because why they are complex? Because they are made up of, as you can see, this is the xylem. Xylem is made up of ABCG, all the 3-4 parts. When it combines, it will form a xylem tissue. So they are complex one. They are made up of different types of cells, not single cell like simple one, simple permanent tissue. So conducting tissues are made up of more than one type of cells. That's why it is called complex. Underline this line, they transport water, minerals and food to different part of the plants. This is the function of the conducting tissue, that they transport water, minerals and food to different part of the body. Conducting tissues are two types, xylem and phloem. So xylem, so this is the last slide, children. Xylem is formed of a thick walled, they are long tubular. So you can say the long tube like structures they are made up of. They are thick and they are made up of 4 different types of cells: xylem tracheids, xylem vessels, xylem fibers, xylem parenchyma. So all that 4 are labeled here in this figure 1.8. You can see they are different from each other, shape wise, function wise. Now all xylem cells are dead except xylem parenchyma. So xylem parenchyma is the last, except this one. All 3 are dead cells, made up of dead cells. Only this 4th D part is living cells. So xylem vessels are joined end to end like drain pipes, like our pipes in our houses also, all the pipes connected with each other and with the help of nut, bolt and other parts, and it provide the water from one part to the another part. Now like this only, they have the partition between the vessels that are dissolved. These vessels act as a long pipe. So water and mineral, they are acting as a long pipe. Because what is the main function of this xylem tissue? It provides water and minerals from the plant body for the to different parts of the plant body. So we know whenever we water the plant roots absorb absorb water and minerals through this xylem tissue only and distribute into the all over the plant body, shoot part, branch part, all the plant body. So they are interconnected. So next part is, underline this line, these vessels act as a long pipe for the transport of water and minerals from root up to the leaves, full body parts till the leaves. And this xylem tissue, you know, water is going up against the gravity. You know, on earth gravity is there, everything falls down only, but this water against the gravity, it is going up from root to the leaves part of the plant. So remember this point. Now the wood in the trees from which our furniture is made is formed of old xylem. All right, and this xylem is also called as wood. So wood is, what is wood? Wood is basically a xylem part of the plant, and we are making papers also, we are making furnitures, all the furniture bed and sofa, so many table, chairs, so many things are there that is made up of wood, and wood actually is a xylem tissue. Now phloem, remember phloem, what is the function of phloem? It transport the food, it manufacture food, it not manufactured food, it transport food which is manufactured by leaves during photosynthesis, by the process of photosynthesis. So phloem also formed of long and tubular structure, you can see in the diagram, and they are also made up of 4 types of parts: sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem fibers and phloem parenchyma. So you can say sieve plates are there, phloem fiber is there, parenchyma is there, and companion cells are there. All phloem cells are living except phloem fibers. So here also all are living except this phloem fiber, all are living cells, other 3 are living cells. So like the xylem vessels, sieve tubes are also joined end to end. So these sieve tube, you can see these sieve tubes, they are having the sieve plate which is porous, so that it can transport food from one part to the another part of the plant. And you know, food manufacture in the leaf part, chloroplast, cell organelle chloroplast. So from the leaves only, food against the not against the gravity come down, food comes down to the root part also. So remember that water is through the xylem, water is moving from root to leaves, and through the phloem food is moving from leaves to the root part or other part of the plant. It is distributed all over the plant body. Now children, the end plates between them are perforated. Perforated means they have the holes, and they are called sieve plates. I told you these sieve tubes, they are having pores so that food can pass through. Okay. Now sieve tubes helps in the downward movement of the food. As I said, food is coming down from leaves to the various part of the plant, and phloem parenchyma cells stored food. So this phloem parenchyma, we know plant body is capable of storing food, like we so in the form of starch. So this parenchyma, phloem parenchyma cells store food. So children, this video is big, don't worry, I have to complete I cannot break this topic in between because it is about the plant body. So in the Zoom class I will again explain you, and if you whatever you have understood or whatever you have not understood, just ask me, I will ask you, and please ask me the queries also. So thank you children, and have a nice day. God bless you all. Beta, watch the video.